Good morning, chat. It is currently 8:30 in the beautiful city of Dallas, Texas, and I'm currently on my morning walk. It is a Saturday. I was going to go work out because I missed some exercises the other day, but I decided, let me just go take a walk and talk to you guys instead, because I feel like this will be a very beneficial video for you guys. So, as you may know, or as you may not know, I wouldn't say that I'm rich. I would say that I have made a lot of money. Close to $1 million, not $1 million yet. I have made other people a lot of money that has contributed to over $1 million, but I myself have not made $1 million. And since I was 17 years old, I've been consecutively hitting 10K months, and now I'm at the stage where I'm hitting 40, 50, trying to get to that 60, 70, 100K a month mark. I don't have a supercar, but I do live in a pretty nice penthouse. I'm not sure if you guys seen it or not in one of my recent videos. But that's a little bit about me. Look at all these people running. So I love Dallas, bro. You get to see people active. You get to see people putting in work. It's beautiful. But I'm making this video because I want to talk about the 3 most common things that I see stopping people from achieving their goals at a young age. And truthfully and honestly, the 3 things that stopped me from achieving the things that I wanted to achieve at a young age. I wholeheartedly believe that if I restrained from these 3 things in earlier stages, if I didn't get into them as much, or if I just completely avoided them, I would be a millionaire with a supercar by now. So with that being said, I want to get into them. It's 3 key things, and it's important that you guys listen and actually take in what I'm saying, because this could completely make or break if you become rich or not, or if you become wealthy or not, or if you become even financially stable or not, especially as a man. The first one is the most important one, and that's going to be alcohol. Alcohol is literally poison. Quite literally poison. Do you guys realize that alcohol has the ability to, number 1, take over your body and have you do things that you wouldn't necessarily do? And number 2, alcohol can put you in a position to where you can become unconscious of your behavior and not even remember the behavior yesterday. So it quite literally removes your spirit out of your body and makes you into a totally different person. And that's super dangerous, especially for a man, because we are extremely powerful. The richest and the strongest men I've seen go out because of alcohol abuse and because they have drinking problems. So it's important that if you don't drink right now, you don't develop a drinking problem. And if you do drink, you limit the amount that you drink. I'm not saying don't drink alcohol at all, but I am saying limit it to an extreme degree, because it's super easy to become addicted, especially if you have like past trauma or PTSD from growing up, especially a lot of black people as well, just from that natural PTSD that comes from our parents being in slavery and then them translating that all the way down onto us. It's very easy to get into that phase and that addiction of alcohol abuse. I can honestly say, to a degree, it has ruined my life. I've made a lot of poor decisions due to times that I have been drunk. I have hit cars. I have said things that I don't want to say to loved ones. I have put myself in dangerous situations with men, grown men, putting my life at danger because of it. And alcohol really has a serious effect on not just today's day, but tomorrow's day, and then tomorrow's day, and then tomorrow's day. And this is proven, bro. This is not something that I'm just making up. If you drink on Friday night, Saturday, you're gonna wake up with a headache. You're not gonna feel quite well. You still might be drunk a little bit, and that's gonna affect your performance on Saturday. And then still Sunday, you're still not gonna feel your best. You still might have a headache, still might be dehydrated. So it does have a dramatic effect on your overall performance. And I've seen this because I used to go out every single Friday night. It's currently Saturday morning. I didn't go out yesterday, Friday night, but I used to go out every single Friday night, and every single Saturday I would do a webinar. But every single Saturday that I had the webinar, I would never make it to the webinar on time, and I would never be my best at the webinar. I either be late, be sloppy, make mistakes, need water, and all that different stuff. So if you guys can, please restrain from alcohol. Some of the homeless people that you see are homeless because they were addicted to alcohol and couldn't get themselves together. Some of the rich people that I know became broke because they were addicted to alcohol. I myself have made a lot of money and then put myself back in a position to where I don't have as much money because I was addicted to alcohol. Alcohol is dangerous, bro. Alcohol is one of the most dangerous things on the planet. It is quite literally poison. Do you guys know why they call alcohol like wine and spirits? Because you become a totally different spirit. You become a totally different person that you didn't even know that you can be. You gain a crazy sense of ego. You gain a crazy sense of pride. You start saying things you don't want to say. Men have caught cases that have put them in prison for multiple years and stumbled their life just because of alcohol. So avoid it at all costs. I'm not saying you can't drink at all, but I'm saying if you're going to drink responsibly. Put yourself in a situation to where you have a limit. Okay, I'm only going to take, drink 2 drinks, get tipsy, not get drunk, and I'm not going to do that every single weekend, because alcohol also has an effect on your overall health, also has an effect on your memory. You might have memory loss if you drink a lot, and I'm saying this from personal experience. I would never put this first if it was not important to me. I've made a lot of terrible decisions on alcohol, jeopardized relationships with loved ones off alcohol, spent obsessive amounts of money just because I was drunk. Because when you get on alcohol as well, your pride and your ego takes over. So if the waitress says the bill's $500, you might tip her an extra $500, and now you're down $1,000 for no reason. So if you guys can, bro, avoid alcohol at all costs. It's not beneficial for you. It's literally life-changing, especially if you become abusive with it and get addicted to it, which I have guaranteed in my past, and that's something that I'm still working through today. Because I quite literally think every single week since I turned 17 years old, I have took a sip of alcohol. And you guys may not think you're addicted. You guys may think, yeah, if I wanted to stop, I'd stop. Well, then just stop. Just stop for the fun of it. And if you can't, that shows that you are addicted. So that's the first one. Alcohol. It's deadly. It is detrimental. It can completely alter and change your life, your reality. The second thing for me, I would say, is not women, but HOES. Good morning, my man. I don't understand the concept of human beings walking past each other and not interacting. I just feel like we live in a parasocial world. This is a side point, by the way. We live in a parasocial world to where people will walk past you and not even look up just because they're so used to being social, being on social media. I make it an agenda that anytime somebody's like within 2 feet of me that I speak, because you should acknowledge the presence of another human being right beside you. You never know who that person is. I could have been a multi-millionaire that could have been trying to give him $1,000, that could have been doing some secret challenge. But who cares, right? Like I was saying, the second thing that is going to kill and destroy most men's path and journey to achieving massive success is going to be HOES. I'm not saying women, I'm not saying girls, I'm saying HOES, the HUS. I feel like men thrive off of women validation and women attention. So they are willing to go to great extents to prove to women that they deserve their attention. They're willing to go to the club and spend tens of thousands of dollars at a section to get a couple signs and get a couple bottles. They're willing to drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on jewelry and on clothes, not for male validation, but for the women validation. And the interesting thing about these women that I feel like we oftentimes try to prove ourselves to is on the outside surface, they may feel in their heart that this is what they're attracted to, but on the inside, what they actually crave is somebody who is emotionally available, to be honest. All these HOES is just little girls who didn't get the proper emotional stability from parents, so they're looking for it through other men in sexual ways. And if you allow that to deteriorate the way that you look at life, and you live for the sole purpose to prove your point to them that you are worthy of their attention, it is going to drive you insane. You're going to wake up, can't focus, because you're worried about the huzz. You're going to go outside, put on your best fit, put on your best chains, put on your best shoes because you're worried about the huzz. You're going to disrespect other people because you're focused and worried about the huzz. This area looks pretty cool behind me. I'm not saying that you can't go out. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look your best, but I'm saying that you should not make any decisions that you know you're only making to show somebody else or prove to somebody else, because that's not your decision. That means you are allowing somebody to have control over the decisions that you make. And that's the worst thing you can do as a man, because as a man, you are so powerful. You can create your own reality. You can create your own situation. You can build a family and build a legacy or build a business that retires generations of people. But instead, as young men, we spend most of our time trying to impress the huzz and show up and show out for the huzz. And that is the most detrimental thing that a young man can do for a lot of different reasons, bro. Realistically, like I just said, as a young man, it's dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. And I know this because I've been in the exact same situation, trying to prove a point to the huzz, trying to show off for the huzz, trying to get bottles and get signs and flex for the huzz, and willing to go broke about it. Like willing to spend my last $10,000 to flex for some girls. Willing to spend my last money to look cool in front of some girls. Willing to even buy things that I don't want to buy in order to flex for some girls. So I recommend you guys stay away from the huzz. Get in your millionaire version of yourself and understand that the millionaire version of you would not spend your time worried about huzz. Where the huzz at? Where this party at? Let's go to this club. Let's DM this girl. Let's DM this girl. Let's get on this account. Let's get this Tinder account. Let's get this spam IG. And I've done all of these things. And every single time I do it, I regret it because I end up in a situation that I do not want to be in. I'm saying all this stuff from experience. I'm not just saying it to make it up. I'm saying it because I quite literally seen the detrimental effect that it had on me as a person and as a man. You placing your value on female validation is insecure, number one, and it's weak because it's showing that you can't stand alone and you don't feel that you are valuable enough. So you have to go seek that valuableness through other women and through huzz, who in fact don't even value themselves. That's why they are huzz. And I'm not saying every girl on this planet is a huzz. I'm just saying that a lot of them are just going out every single weekend, twerking at the red lights, twerking at the headlights. And that's the stuff that men like. That's the stuff that men want to attract. But we have to change our mindset from that to actually open it up to a more interesting perspective. And the interesting perspective is, if you plan on getting rich and successful, you cannot waste your time with somebody who you won't spend the rest of your life with. So I recommend all young men, if you are not going to talk to a girl that you have the intentions of getting married with, don't talk to them. Don't waste your time with them. It's cool to have female friends. No issue with that at all. But the actual act of going out, talking to random girls, having sex with random girls is completely detrimental to the man's spirit. And sex is a very spiritual thing. It's more than just the physical realm. Once you make the decision to actually put like yourself inside somebody else, that's a more of a deep spiritual connection than anything. Good morning, my man. It's a little bit more deep than that. A lot deeper than that, to be honest. So it's very important that you guys don't take that step, because then once you decide to do that with multiple different women, you're going to carry all of their burdens. You're going to carry all of their energy. So avoid it at all costs. And that might actually be more important than alcohol, but that usually mixes with the alcohol. Here comes the alcohol. Here comes the women that we're trying to prove when we're off the alcohol. And now we're just making terrible decisions all around. I wholeheartedly encourage you guys that instead of you deciding that you want to go be with the huzz, just go get one girl, lock her in, y'all build a business together or build businesses separate, and just help each other just achieve the things that honestly you want to achieve. I feel like, because ideally realistically, if you're not doing that, you're wasting your time. And time is valuable. The rich man spends 24 hours headed towards his goals and headed towards the place that he wants to go. And I know you guys may see young entrepreneurs go out, spend thousands of dollars, etc. But even they aren't as obsessed with the hoes as a person who is trying to grind and trying to get to a certain place. You gotta kill that. You gotta kill that. That has to be killed. I would much rather you go get a girlfriend, lock her in, stay with her, hold her down, be loyal. Y'all work through y'all traumas and y'all work through y'all past experiences together. Y'all build something together or build something separate. She supports you throughout that situation, and then at the end of it, she reaps the rewards, you reap the rewards. Isn't that the best life? I feel like the best life is when you're grinding, you got one girl locked in with you, and then once you finally make it, she gets to live in the penthouse and you get to buy her cars and purses and all that fancy stuff. I feel like that's much better than spending your time and energy with random girls who hold no value. So it's very important that you guys avoid that, to be honest. Something that I didn't avoid, and it's something that I wish I avoided just a little bit earlier. Because if I did avoid it just a little bit earlier, I'd be in a totally different situation. I've spent thousands of dollars trying to impress the huz. My jewelry kit cost me thousands of dollars because I wanted to impress the huz. I spent thousands of dollars at clubs because I wanted to impress the huz. So that's the second thing that I want you guys to kind of let go of or restrain from as much as possible in order to get rich as fast as possible. Because if it's a it's a complete time waster. It's not helping you get closer to your goals, so you shouldn't be doing it anyway. The third thing might seem a little bit interesting, and I know it may be hard to restrain from, especially, my African American men out there, and that is rap music specifically. And the reason I say rap music is because what you listen to is exactly who you will become. The things you hear, the things you see are affirming who you will become as a man on this planet. And there's actually kind of like, what should I call this? There's myths about how Satan specifically was in control of the music, before he actually became Satan. And if we look at the music that we have today, it is completely detrimental. The things that they are speaking about, if these things were to be put on the forefront and be somebody's everyday life, it would be disgusting, it would be detrimental, and it wouldn't work. It just really wouldn't work. Like a specific song I know, when Future said, I don't give a F if they real sisters, right? When he says that, it sounds cool, I don't care if they real sisters. But like at the same time, this your real sister and you 3 don't work out like that. The music industry today is just full of BS. And once you hear this BS, it's going to manipulate you to believe that you should be on the same BS timing, especially today's music, bro. And right now, one of the hottest artists out, an artist that I really like that I have to stop myself from listening to because I made a lot of poor decisions because, is Boston Richie, bro. Boston Richie, Mr. Payfish, right? So he's preaching this message that you need to be a Mr. Payfish. You need to buy her Chanel bag. You need to buy this. You need to buy that. If he ain't send you $10,000, he ain't nothing. If he not buying you this, buying you a car, he ain't nothing. So I'm hearing that, and then women is reposting it and talking about it. So I'm thinking that's the new standards. Like, we got to do this in order to talk to a girl. So I'm sending thousands of dollars. I'm buying bags, right? Before this stuff was ever out, like this wasn't a thing. But because it's a thing, and because I'm hearing it in the music, now all of a sudden it has become a lifestyle that I live. Hands down, bro, I have sent, not even spent. Hands down, I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on one girl specifically. I definitely have sent my girl over $10,000. Not because she needed it, not because I had to, but that's just because I thought that's what I had to do to keep up, to keep the competition away. You feel me? And all because Boston Richie said, do it. So music is definitely a thing that takes control of your mind. So it's important that you watch what you're listening to, or you do your best to not let it influence you. But the thing about music is, it's a rhythm. It's almost a spell. The way that the music is composed is to get you in that state of flow, listening to the things he's saying or she's saying, right? So when you listen to music, you feel the emotion. You listen to a Drake song, and he's talking about, the city is pretty when it's dead, just like a flower. You just start feeling it in your heart. Listen to Boston Richie, you start feeling it in your heart, like you got to do this. So if you can restrain from music, or at least have the ultimate self-control not to allow music to alter your decisions, I swear that will change your life. I think about this a lot. I wonder, is it edible? But I think about this a lot, right? The people that are in Chicago that listen to Lil Durk, King Von, drill music, they wake up with that drill mentality. They wake up looking to kill somebody. Why? Because they're listening to it. If they didn't wake up listening to drill every single day, even if they're in their environment, they wouldn't wake up and think about that stuff. They wouldn't do the things they do. But because it's glorified in the songs, that's what it is. It gets glorified. The songs make it look cool. The songs make it look entertaining, even though it's not a lifestyle we should be living at all. At all. So it's important that you guys do your best to do all those three things, because if I avoided all those three things when I was 17, by 20, I would have been a multi-millionaire. Probably not a multi-millionaire, but definitely a millionaire. So as of right now, I'm avoiding all three of those things. No alcohol, no huzz, no rap music. On top of all of that, if you are a Christian, it's important that you live by Bible principles. And the Bible principles specifically have scriptures about being a drunkard. The Bible principles specifically have scriptures about fornication, about how you should actually protect women. And it also has scriptures about bad associations, points, use, or habits. So I hope these three things that I just put you guys on today potentially can make you guys millionaires. You can come back to that one video and be like, yeah, D, this video completely changed my life. Because how you do the little things is how you do the big things. So if you're outside every single weekend, being a huh, with the huh, how's that going to reflect in your business? Think about that. How can you show up the way you need to show up for your business if you can't show up the way you need to show up for yourself? And I'll leave you guys with this final gem. It's actually a gem that my team member told me yesterday. It was an illusion, not an illusion, a story. There was a coach and there was a student. The student was like, hey, people aren't showing up for my cause. And the coach was like, go clean your restroom. And the student was just shocked because his restroom was actually super dirty. And then the coach explained that how you do the little things is how you do the big things. If you can't even clean your restroom and keep your environment clean and go to the gym every single day and be disciplined, how do you expect people to reciprocate their energy towards you? You're only going to attract the things that you are. So if you want to get rich, attract different stuff. I'm gonna leave y'all with this Corvette right here. Appreciate y'all for watching the video. My name is D. Avoid alcohol, the huzz, music. I love y'all. Stay prayed up. Keep God first. I know you're gonna be rich. I'm out.